Hope you are all well. Hope you're having a good trading week so far. Guys, Trader Tom here from Simply Forex, and I am with you for the next 45 minutes. And we are going to look at two trades that I am currently in. All right. So we're going to understand why I'm in those trades and why I took them. All right. And exactly where I entered, stop loss, take profit. We're actually trading Aussie dollar strength. Okay, so yeah, they're the two trades I'm currently in. And we're also going to take a look at a couple of trades that I really like the look of. And they are actually Swiss franc weakness. All right, so that's the plan, guys. We normally take a look at the economic calendar to see if there's any news coming out. And there's no news during this live stream, right? We have had some, pound news earlier on. We've seen some euro news come out and some Aussie dollar news, but really nothing. Yeah, no big reaction there. We're still seeing Aussie dollar strength, although we did see a bit of euro strength as well. All right, so yeah, that's what we're going to do. And also, guys, please don't be shy. Please ask as many questions as you like about trading, right? And it can be anything. It could be strategy. It could be money and risk management. It could be psychology, support and resistance, trend, right? There's so many things. So please don't be shy. Please ask a question. What else was I going to tell you guys? I literally put up my Christmas tree today and bought everything, put the tree up. We haven't got a star at the top and we haven't got lights. So we will be back out tomorrow looking for those. So yeah, there you go. Anyone else got their Christmas tree up? Or are you thinking, Tom, you're a maniac? That's far too early. And also, guys, we're streaming to a couple of different places today. So this could either be wonderful entertainment or a car crash. We're not sure yet. We shall find out as the live stream unveils. So Nero got his up last night. All right, well done, Nero. Nero's got his Christmas tree up. Luigi, you're the star, Tom. Thank you, Luigi. I will pay you later for that comment. Hi Fomaleko, hi Nero, hi Luigi, hi guys, hope everyone is well. So guys, let's start with trades that I am in. Now, one of those trades is Aussie dollar Swiss franc. Now, I have been in this trade since Thursday, right? I'm already bored. No, I'm not, as part of trading, guys. I'm an intraday trader, but I could spend days in a trade because if price doesn't go anywhere, then there's not a lot I can do about it. And just look at price, right? This is on the H4, and I actually entered on this candle here. So before we look at the entry, let's understand the trade. An Aussie dollar Swiss franc, as you can see, guys, we've pretty much, I know there's been a little bit of price action in between, but we've pretty much been ranging from here to here. All right, that if I showed you the weekly chart, that's what you'll see. Although on the day chart we have had downtrends, uptrends, but ever since we broke this level in here, right, you can see price reacted and then we broke. All right, so Aussie dollar Swiss franc has been in an uptrend. And just take a look at the bullish candles we're getting, right? We've just seen nothing but bullish, 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 bullish. Not that bullish, bullish. Okay, so I'm still in this trade. And then, and there was room to move into, right? So we had structure and trend on our side. We had candlesticks on our side. We had support and resistance on our side, as in we broke resistance. And we've got room to the next resistance level. And we've got room to move into, right? So it was like tick, 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 tick. And then if we look at the H4, guys, I basically entered once we got, if we just look at this uptrend, I basically entered once we got another break of these highs. That is a continuation of trend. So on the H4 is my entry time frame typically. Stops below the last swing low, and I'm looking to take price back up to here. So we'll see, guys. I'm still in this trade. I'm not liking this candle, but let's see what the next candle brings. So that was from last week, Aussie dollar, Swiss franc buys. And a trade I entered yesterday is pound Aussie dollar sells, right? So we're interested in this Aussie dollar strength. And those of you, I've said this enough times, right? But let's take a quick look at the indices. Okay, where's the indices? Let's look at the NASDAQ, right? So let's look at the day chart. When the indices are doing this, right, that is a risk on environment. And Aussie dollar is strong, right? And that's what we're seeing, okay? We're seeing a strong Aussie dollar, okay? Because we're in a risk on environment. And if you look at the weekly chart, you would like to think, right? Again, I shouldn't use terms like think, but the facts on my chart, right? We're in this uptrend. We've bounced off this area of support. We've got a super big bullish weekly candle. Everything's telling me we're on a risk on environment until we get back up to these highs, right? So until we get up to there, we are still bullish Aussie dollar, right? So I use indices, other currency pairs, oil, and all of those correlations to help my decision making as well, right? Because it affects currency pairs. Simple as that. So with that in mind, Aussie dollar strength, right? Pound Aussie dollar is a perfect example. Let's start with the weekly as we're on the weekly chart. And this is a top-down approach, right? Weekly is in a downtrend, right? Lower highs, lower lows. Super bearish weekly candle. And that suggests we've got enough room and enough selling momentum to take it back down to this 2000 level, right? If we drop down to the day chart, you can also see, this level was important, right? So on the day chart, we was in this uptrend, right? And it did kind of stop making higher highs through here. And then it's kind of just bounced off here, and then it's broke that level. And then just look at the candles, bearish, bearish. All right, so sellers are in control. And again, you'll see that level more clearly on the H4, right? And I literally entered off a bounce off that level. So here's that level I'm talking about. And you can see on the H4, price came down. What was once support becomes very good resistance. If you only traded that setup, you would have wonderful success, a break and retest. That is just such a good entry system, right? Just gonna have a quick drink of coffee. I can use my Liverpool mug this week because Liverpool won 2-0. Apologies for any West Ham fans. So yeah, there you go, guys. I'm in this trade, right? We got a break of this level, retest, bearish candle. I got a bit of a retrace up that candle, right? And I'm looking to take price back down to these lows. I'm actually going to show you how I've managed this trade as well. I shared it with the guys in the VIP, right? So yeah, I'm going to show how I managed this trade. So yeah, they're the two trades I'm in, guys, right? So Aussie dollar, Swiss franc, and pound Aussie dollar sells. We're also going to take a look at a couple of trades, or one trade that I'm particularly interested in. And that trade is Swiss franc, Japanese yen, right? Because if we look at the daily, right, you can see we broke this level here. We stopped making higher highs, and then price has broken down, and this is where we're at, right? So we're getting lower lows, lower highs, okay? Plus, on the daily chart, we've got this big bearish daily candle, right? So at the very least, you'd like to think we can take it down to this 193. All right, now I am conscious of the fact that we are at our smart river, right? And our smart river is dynamic support, right? This is the only thing putting me off this trade. Although, if we do look at the next area of resistance, this is it or this is it, right? So this level through here, we haven't hit yet. So I still think there's a bit of room to come down, like I say, to at least 193. But, right, I'm not just going to enter on the daily chart. I need the H4 chart to line up as well. And good, guys, get your questions over to me. I can see some questions coming through. Yeah, so don't be shy, guys. Please leave as many questions as you like. Right. Okay, and I'm seeing a few people on TikTok coming into the live chat. So hello, TikTok people. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, so what am I looking for on the H4? So if we go to the H4 now, you can clearly see that we are in this H4 bang downtrend. As soon as we've broken all of these lows in here, right, you could see price stopped making higher highs. That's always a red flag. And in fact, this level become very important for the Swiss franc, Japanese yen. If I'd seen a break of that level, I would have potentially bought this, right? But as it stands, we're getting very bearish daily candles, and we got a break of these lows in here. Now, again, this is a bit of a break and a retest, right? It's not only at these last lows in here, but it's also at our smart river, which is part of our price action pro indicator. If you're interested in getting access to that, guys, please check out the links in the video description. And also, guys, while I'm at it, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. Merci beaucoup. So yeah, this is where we're at now. I haven't started selling it yet because this candle is so bullish, right? I don't really want to sell into that candle. But if I get a H4 candle that looks reasonably bearish, I'm interested, right? Even if we started selling here, stops above here, and we took it back down to that 193 level that I've been speaking about. Even take it back down to these lows first, right? As long as there's enough room for me to get 1:1, then I'm very much interested in selling Swiss franc yen. So yeah, there you go, guys. So they're the two trades that I am in, and Swiss franc yen is a trade that I'm very much interested in. I'm also interested in, while I'm at it, okay, not so much euro, but US dollar Swiss franc. Because if you look at the day chart, right, we are still in an uptrend, right? If we just track structure, we are in an uptrend, right? We're getting higher highs. These lows never broke. And we've got this nice big bullish daily candle, right? So potentially there's room to take it back up to this 8100 psychological level, right? So daily is for direction. And then if we drop down to the H4, right, I'm just looking for a structure break. You can see right now that H4 is, okay, to have a little break there, but ultimately it's in a H4 downtrend. And this right here is the last H4 high. So you can see where my alarm is. So when my alarm goes off and we end up with potentially a bullish candle like this, I will jump into action like Steven Seagal, right? I will be very much interested in this trade. So that would mean US dollar strength, right? So if I see this, then I think potentially we've got a trade, like I say, back up to this 8100 level, right? Stops are interesting, right? I'd probably aim to come below all of this traffic in here, right? Down here somewhere, right? Start buying in here, up to here. There's my reward, and there is my risk. So yeah, that's what we're looking at, guys. Right, let's see a few of the questions that are coming in. Like I said, I'm streaming on a couple of things today, so bear with me. Like I said, it could be a car crash or it could be wonderful. Either way, entertaining. And if I sound slightly like Barry White today, it's because I've got a bit of a cold from my daughter. But we got some questions coming through here. So we got a question here. Tom, I just want to find out, last week you mentioned you looked at the NASDAQ indices to understand risk on, risk off. I know there is also the VIX. Is it not a better risk on, risk off indicator? In my opinion, no, Luigi. VIX is basically volatility in the market, right? It's not necessarily telling you risk on or risk off. VIX is measuring volatility. Whereas if we want to understand risk on and risk off, you really need to look at the indices, right? So that's what I would say there. And this is all you need to know, guys, right? So let's just quickly run over this, okay? So typically speaking, okay, when the indices are doing this, right, we are in a risk off. That means investors, couldn't think of the word, but investors are interested in less riskier assets. Risk off means they're moving away from risk, and they will look at things like bonds, even sitting on cash, things like that, right? There's safer assets to trade. But when the indices are doing this, right, and the economy is in a good state, and let's be honest, right, the indice is pretty much a direct indicator of how the economy is going, right? You know, if the economy's good, indices are doing this. If the economy's shit, the indices are doing this, typically, right? But when we see the indices doing well, it means investors are interested in riskier assets, so risk on. And stocks are typically a risky asset, and that's really what moves the indices, right? So yeah, and winners and losers, right? So in a risk-on environment, as I just explained, Aussie dollar, and even to an extent New Zealand dollar, right, because they're so highly correlated, right, become strong. And in a risk-off environment, it's all your flight to safeties like gold, yen, Swiss franc, US dollar used to be a bit of a flight to safety, but you know, recently the dollar has become a very different beast, right? But yeah, you must understand that correlation, guys, right? And that will explain a lot of the time why you are seeing Aussie dollar strength or why you're seeing yen strength. You know, there's a reason for it. Obviously, you know, the data that comes out, like Japanese interest rate, Aussie dollar CPI, they're all going to impact it as well, obviously. But, you know, if you're thinking there's no news coming out, but Aussie dollar's so strong, it's probably because the indices are doing this. Or the Chinese economy is doing well, right? Because Australia's biggest export partner is China, right? So there's another dynamic you need to consider. But ultimately, risk on, risk off is really important for your understanding of how to trade certain pairs. All right, super important, guys. Right. What else am I going to show you? So, yes, a good question, Luigi. Thanks for that. Hi, Niraj. Hi, Andreas. Okay, so Andreas wants to look at pound US dollar. Okay. All right, so let's have a look at pound US dollar. Now, before I do, guys, if I could please ask everyone to subscribe, like, and share. Also, please go check out our website, www.simply-forex.com. On there, you'll get access to all of our premium trading education, including how I trade using price action. All right, so go check that out. Also, guys, we have a free trading community, right? We've got the Discord channel, so please come join that. It's free. You'll have a great time. And finally, guys, today's live stream is brought to you by Pepperstone. And if you sign up with Pepperstone using our link, we will give you free VIP Trading Academy access, and we'll give you a free Trading View Essential subscription. Right? What's not to like? Go check it all out. Everything's in the video description. Right, pound US dollar. So let's start with the daily chart. Now, this is a really tricky sausage, right? That is a technical term. Go look it up in all of the big economic books. Look up tricky sausage and you will see pound US dollar, right? Now, I'm going to put this level in because this is slightly what's putting me off this trade, right? You can see there was a low here. Right? I mean, there was a bit of a low there as well, right? But two things, right? On the daily, we are clearly in an uptrend, right? We're getting higher highs, higher lows, right? That is an uptrend. Now, in an uptrend, I want to buy the market, but just look at all of these candles. We have complete indecision followed by yesterday's candle, which is pretty much a selling candle, right? So first and foremost, I don't want to buy into that anyway. All right. Now, there's the daily, right? I will take a look at the weekly as well, guys. You know that I do this. And it's just tricky. Pound US dollar is a very tricky pair to read at the moment because if we start here, right, we were sort of in this downtrend and then ranging, right, and then we're in this downtrend. But is that a significant enough high to break to make this a weekly uptrend? No. Right, it's a daily high, which we saw, and it's broken that level. And you can see, this is why I put in that gray zone. You can see there's a level here as well. And we've got our smart river, which is where price reacts a lot of the time. Okay. So the thing with pound US dollar is everything is not pulling in the same direction. Right? It's just not. It's one thing's telling me this, another thing's telling me this, and I'm just not comfortable trading pound US dollar. If we go back to the day chart, you know, if we started seeing bullish candles in here, would I take it back up to this high? Maybe. Yeah, I may consider that trade because we're in a daily uptrend. And we do have that big bullish weekly candle. So if anything, I want to buy pound US dollar, but do I want to buy into this resistance level where on the daily chart, if we go back to the daily, you can see sellers are coming into the market. So you're a bit of a rock and a hard place here, right? You might see pound US dollar do this. You might see this a lot with a lot of US dollar pairs because of the dollar index. right? So if I show you the dollar index right now, you know, look at that, right? This is crying out for a range, right? We was in this uptrend. We're getting to that 100 big psychological level, back to that 100 big psychological level, right? Big push off of this level, right? Are we coming back up and completing the range? And structurally, I would say yes, because we're in an uptrend, right? We're in a range, but we're at the bottom of the range. So uptrend stroke range, taking it back to the top of the range is a good idea. And look at that wick rejection we had, right? So for me, the dollar is bullish until we get to this level again, or it comes down and breaks this level, right? So this level from here to here, I am bullish US dollar. And then we'll see what happens at this big 100 level again. If I get a break of this level, I am bearish dollar, right? But let's be honest, it doesn't look like it's breaking that level anytime soon. We've had a huge wick rejection. So everything's telling me this is going to complete the range. So for me, it's US dollar strength. And if you think about the trade I was looking at, US dollar Swiss franc, right? This is US dollar strength back to these highs. And that would probably coincide with dollar index coming back up to that 100 level, right? It's all very much correlated, obviously, right? It's the US dollar major. So, yeah, you know, that's what I'm seeing with the dollar. If we go back to the dollar index, I just want to show you how important that 100 level's been, right? 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, right? Just that level. So important. It's such a big psychological number, right? And again, guys, right? If we break it, very bullish US dollar. If the market does this and we end up breaking this level, bearish US dollar, right? So yeah, that's what I'm seeing with all US dollar pairs, guys. All right, so important that we keep an eye out for that. Right, what else are we going to look at? We got some more questions coming in. Okay, so Luigi keeps about the VIX. All right, so the VIX, I read that over 30 is risk on and risk off is under 20 with the VIX. It may well be, Luigi, but the VIX, you know, the VIX is taking that information from, you know, it's like secondhand data. Do you know what I mean? You can see the risk on, risk off environment on the indices, right? And you can see it with the data that comes out, CPI, employment, right? Inflation, interest rates, spending, right? Retail sales, that kind of thing. You know, and the VIX is reacting to that. So I'm not doubting that it can be used to see risk on, risk off, but it's almost like secondhand data to me. You know, you've got the first-hand data in front of you, so why not use that? Would be my argument with that. Right, let me have a sip of coffee. On a side note, guys, everyone done their Christmas shopping yet? I haven't started. I have bought a Christmas tree, but I haven't done any Christmas shopping. Any tips on what to get the missus this year would be greatly appreciated. I may have opened a can of worms there. Wish I hadn't asked that. Nicholas, how are you? Hi, Tom and everyone. I'm late today. Nicholas, there will be punishment for people being late. I'm only joking. Andreas, you're very welcome. So guys, as usual, please ask me anything you like about trading. Yeah, more questions the better, guys. You're here to learn. You're here to understand trading. So don't be shy. Come and ask as many questions as you like. What else did I want to show you? Let's have a look at the Swiss franc and see how that is shaping up. Where are you, Swiss franc? Okay, let's go back to the H4. Okay, so like I said, I'm interested in selling Swiss franc yen, not interested in selling that candle. That's still ultimately bullish. So yeah, what I'll be waiting for, guys, maybe this candle's like this, and then the next H4 candle is something like that, right? If we get something like this, I'm all over this, like a cheap suit, right? I'll be taking it down to here, if not further. Let's take a look at a couple of trades that I am in. Aussie dollar, Swiss franc. Okay, good. I want to see, we've had this bearish candle. To tell me that buyers are in control, I want to see the next candle bullish, right? We've had sellers come in and then buyers have rejected it. That's what I'd really like to see. But look, let's take it. Let's see what happens. We've still got an hour and a half before that candle forms. Yeah, pound Aussie dollar. Let's have a look at my pound Aussie dollar trade. Now, that's what I was going to talk to you about, managing this trade, right? So when I got into this trade, guys, right? So I got in here, right? Initially, my stop was above this 203,000 level. So it was up here somewhere, right? And then back down here was my 1:1. Okay, stop loss was up here. But what I've done, guys, is I saw this level here, right? You could see price kept reacting at that level. So once price came down to here, right? Now, I would say trade management is a very big skill, right? There's one thing knowing how to enter a market, right? You know, uptrend, see a retrace at a level, you buy it, right? You know, I'm not saying finding good entries is easy. It's not. And it takes a lot of understanding of price action and reading the charts and understanding what's happening across multiple time frames, right? But managing a trade is a different ball game, although it's based on the same thing. All of my trading decisions are based on price action, right? So, like I said, guys, this level just kept getting hit and kept rejecting it. So once price came back down to here, I closed 40% of my trade here, right? And I moved my stop loss from here down to here. So it's not a risk-free trade, but it's not far off it, right? Now, I only done that because price action told me to do that. The market kept showing me this level. Now, as it happens, price went through that level. You know, no problem. This is, you know, that's the direction I want. But what I will do now is if price comes back up, you can see this alarm in here. If price comes back up to here, I will re-enter this trade, right? Perhaps price comes back up and we get a bit of a, maybe even a bit of a doji candle, something like this. Excuse my doji, I've been drinking, right? You know, I would be very much interested in selling again. I wouldn't move my stop loss. My stop loss would still be roughly here. And I would take another 1% trade, 1% risk, right? With a view to taking it back down to this 1:1, right? Entering here. And I will still be in the 60% trade that I had originally, right? So that's managing a trade, and there's many techniques and ways to do it. And if you want access to all of my tutorials on how to manage trades, then please go check out the VIP Trading Academy, guys, right? The link is in the video description. And we're giving it away for free if you sign up with our preferred broker. But Yeah, no buts. That's it. Managing a trade. There's many ways to do it, but let price action guide every decision you make, or let mathematics guide every decision you make. Right? Don't let impulse or emotion dictate how you trade. Right? Have such a structured plan that even your trade management is in that plan. If this happens, I do this. If this happens, I do that. Right? So yeah, really important trade management, because how many times have you been in a trade and you thought, oh, I wish I took some profit at that level, or I wish I got out because of that big bearish candle, or I wish I had pushed my stop loss up once we was in some profit. How many times have you thought to yourself that? Right? Be honest. I bet it's bloody loads of times. So have a system in place so that you don't have them questions, right? Again, I bet a lot of your trading plans are about that much on a A4 bit of paper. I'm old school. I use pen and paper. But I bet your strategy is about that big, right? But you should have entries, money and risk management, managing trades, what to do when news comes out, managing my psychology, times of day I should trade and shouldn't trade according to maybe London Open, New York Open, according to your 9 to 5, right? According to your job. There's so many things that need to be answered in a trading plan, right? And this is what the protocol room is all about, guys, right? So let me just show you this quickly. Right, guys, just quickly, if you want to trade with actual confidence where you can walk away from a loss without it ruining your week, then listen up. The protocol room is officially open. This is where you finally become consistent, where you stop second guessing every trade, where you build a system that works around your 9 to 5 and eventually replaces it. That's the outcome. That's what we're building together. Now, I'm only taking a small group, but the outcome here is simple. You'll trade with discipline, keep your gains, and actually enjoy your weekends without staring at charts, wondering if you're good enough. That is freedom. Application links below. If you don't sort it out now, nothing changes. You'll still be in the same place 6 months from now. Or you can finally become the trader you know you're capable of being. Now, let's get back to the vid. Okay, so there you go, guys. Go check that out. Nero is suggesting a full trading setup would be nice for the missus. I think she would kick me out, Nero. Honestly, she's like, stop bloody trading, and where I was many years ago in terms of my screen time and not putting down my bloody phone and, unhealthy amounts of looking at the charts to where I am now is night and day, I must say, right? I look at the chart as little as possible, right? And I'm actually doing a YouTube video this Wednesday, which talks you through this, right? You don't want to be staring at the screen all day, right? You want to be a very planned, methodical, non-reactive trader, right? And that only comes from planning your day. But I appreciate a lot of you guys will have a 9 to 5, but I don't care. Right? You've got to find the time to really analyze the markets. But yeah, check out the YouTube vid on Wednesday, guys. It's a really good one. Right, guys, we got any other questions coming in? Let's have a look at US dollar, Swiss franc. Let's see if that's looking like it's going to break that level. No. So we was talking about this level here earlier, but we're getting more rejection at that level than anything. And obviously, this is Swiss franc strength. If we go to Swiss franc yen, which I'm also interested in, we are seeing Swiss franc strength, right? So yeah, it's not looking like this. You know, I could be wrong. We've still got another hour or so, but it's not looking like this trade is setting up as yet. We might have to wait for the next H4 candle, right? So let's see. What else did I want to share with you? Yeah, so guys, I mean, we do have some US dollar news, you know, some quite this jolts job openings, right? Must be aware of that. That could really dictate whether or not we get a push through, where are we? Through that US dollar Swiss franc level, right? If we get some good jolts numbers, you could well see US dollar strength. If we get some bad jolts job numbers, you could well see this. Right, so we do have US dollar news, which will make this interesting here. Again, guys, let me just look at Aussie dollar, Swiss franc. Okay, good. Let's have a look at pound Aussie dollar. Okay, good. I'll definitely re-add to this trade, guys. Yeah. So yeah, adding to winning trades. That's an important skill as well. Again, all in the VIP Trading Academy. Right, we just got Jane turn up. Hello, Jane. How are you? You are late. Big punishment for you later on, Jane. We've got a few more minutes to go, guys. If you've got any further questions about any currency pair that you're looking at, because I've pretty much shared everything I am looking at. Yeah, I was interested in Euro Swiss franc earlier today. Not so much anymore. Aussie dollar CAD, right? This was actually a trade taken from my weekly Forex forecast. If you haven't seen that, guys, every Saturday I do a weekly Forex forecast. And this has been moving up nicely. Yeah, if you look at the day chart, right, we're basically seeing this, guys. Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar, we're pretty much, right, seeing that. So, you know, can we make it back to the top of the range? Absolutely, right? So Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar could be a good buy trade. If I show you the weekly, yeah, you can see we are in an uptrend stroke range, right? So if we're in an uptrend stroke range, buying from the bottom of the range to the top makes perfect sense. And also, guys, not every time, but I will take a look at the monthly, because literally the monthly candle has just finished forming, right? And look at that rejection we're getting. So if you looked at the monthly, right, we're clearly in this uptrend, clearly getting these rejection wicks, and clearly have a lot of room, potentially all the way back up to these highs. So yeah, swing trade, intraday trade is looking good for buys as well. All right, so yeah, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and smash the like button. Please go check out the website. Please come join our free trading community, and let's do this all again tomorrow, guys. So please come join me tomorrow for more of the same on the live stream. Have a great rest of your trading day, and I'll see you tomorrow.